Hello everybody. Purpose of this video tutorial is to show how to create an assessment using Google Forms that will automatically be graded by the app and you can put into a spreadsheet to transfer over into Aries. So I'm signed in. I can tell that by the icon and my pictures up there at the @Riverbank account. I have opened up Google Forms and I am at the Google Forms homepage. I'm going to start by creating a blank document. Before I get started on this, I'm just going to go over some of the tools that are on Forms as you start to create things. The little gear up here is your settings tool. When you open up the settings tool, you have some options to set for the specific form. If you want to, after students submit, collect their email addresses, you can click on this. If it is an assessment and it's a true summative assessment and you only want to allow them to take it one time, you should click on this here. Now, you can use this a bunch of different ways. Let's say you create a quiz or a test or some sort of an assessment, and you're trying to use it as a study guide. So the students take it, they get a 2 out of 10, let's say, and you want them to be able to take it again so they can realize what they did wrong and hopefully correct it and learn from their mistakes. You would just leave this blank, and if it's a study guide or a study tool, you can allow them to take it over and over and over again and repeat the process as much as they need to until they understand the content. But if it were a true summative assessment and we were actually going to give it to them at the end of a unit, and we want to make sure that they only have the chance to take it once and it's a true indication of their knowledge, we're just going to click on limit one response. Up here at the top, this is the general tab, presentation tab. I'm going to skip for now, but we're going to go over to the quizzes tab. And we want to make sure that this is a quiz, so all we have to do is click this button right here. You can read the rest of the stuff. I always just leave it on the default. That way when the kids hit submit, let's say there's 10 questions on it, they'll give them a score right there. You don't have to have them coming up in your ear and saying, hey, how'd I do on the quiz? How'd I do on the quiz? They get their scores immediately. So I'm going to save these down here in the lower right-hand corner. So now the settings that I just did, I know that I'm creating an assessment. I'm creating a quiz. This icon, the one that looks like an eye, is the preview, and you can hit this at any point during the creation of the Google form, and it will show you a view that the students see. So I haven't typed anything on this, so there's one option I could click on it, or I don't have to click on it, but I want to go back and edit this again, so I'm gonna get out of here. So I'm gonna leave this page. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the spreadsheet that is generated after the students take a quiz to alphabetize that so you can easily transfer the scores over into Aries. So in order to do that, this first part right here, this first question is vital. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to title this assessment. All right, I want the students, when they take this, the first thing on the spreadsheet is going to be their last name. So I want to come up here and I want to make this a short answer. You can choose any type of question that you want from this drop-down bar. I want to do short answer, and I want the students to type their last name. I want their last name first. That way when it populates again in the spreadsheet, it will match up with the alphabetized lists in our Aries gradebooks. So all I want them to do is type their last name. I put short answer, tell them it's a last name, and I want to make this required. If you don't click this button right here, students can skip over it and not answer it if they want to. If you haven't clicked, they can't move on to the next question until they've answered this one. On the toolbar over here, you can see the most common one we're going to use right now, at least today for this purposes, is add question. And if I ask for their last name, I'm probably going to need their first name too, so I'm going to repeat that same process of above and say first name. And again, make it required. Okay. Time to add our first question. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to add two different types of questions just so we can get this done, but you can repeat this process 50, 60, 100 times if you want. So it's up to you. First question, I'm going to make it multiple choice, and let's say which of the following is the largest number? Let's just make this simple. And I'm going to add 4 options. I'm going to say in 1, 2, 3, and I'm just using the arrow keys to do that. I know you can't see it on the computer, but if you wanted to do it so you can see it with the cursor, I'm just going to hit add option and do number 4. Okay, so I have asked a question, multiple choice style, and I have added 4 possible responses. Since we set it to quiz at the beginning of this, after you add a question, at the bottom left hand is going to be an answer key. So when I click on this, it gives me the option to choose which is the correct answer. So we're going to click on 4. And in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to assign a point value to this specific question. So let's say it's worth 2 points, and the answer is 4. I'm done with that one. Let's move on to that one more question. We'll do a different style. Okay, for this question, since on the Smarter Balance test, there's a lot of them that give them multiple choices to answer, I'm going to go check boxes. So for instance, I could ask a question like, which of the following applies to the concept? And then like they do on a Smarter Balance, click all would apply. All right, so now, again, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Why not? Same process as above. I'm going to click on the answer key, and I'm going to select all of the applicable answers. So let's say there's 3 of them on this one. And since I gave it 2 points before, let's make this a 6-point question. Okay, and again, you can continue to add questions over and over again simply by just going down after you set your answer key and assign a point value by hitting the plus button. For right now, though, you can repeat that process. I don't need to show it to you, but let's go back up here one more time to the preview and just to see what students would see if they have our quiz so far. Required, last name, first name. I've forgotten something on the 2 questions. I forgot to do something. I see that, right? On the first 2, it's required. So if a student were to take this and they were to send this link out the way it is, the only things they would have to answer before they submitted it was to write their first name, or their last name and their first name, and they could skip over the actual assessment part. So I need to go back and fix this. To do that, I scroll to the top, hit the edit this form, and realize I need to make those 2 questions that I just did required. So I clicked on the question. It opens up all the tools for me again. I'm going to click required, and I'm going to repeat that process for question number 2. Now if I go back to the top and I hit the preview button, I can see that all of my questions are now required, so the student cannot hit submit until they have attempted all of them. Okay, this is the way I want it. It's a 2-question quiz. Now I need to get a link. I need to get a link for this. So in order to do that, I'm going to go up to the send button. And when that opens, it's going to give me some options. We can email the students, but the Google account email capabilities are not like the Outlook, so this isn't your best option. The best option is to use the little link icon right here. And once you click that, it opens up a copyable link for you. I like to shorten it. This is complete preference. You don't have to if you don't want to. It'll highlight it for you when you do that, and you just hit copy. So now I have a copied link. The easiest place to put this is probably on Google Classroom. So I would go to my classroom and I would make it an announcement more than likely. If you'd made an assignment, there's really no assignment there, it's a link. So I'm just going to create an announcement, and in all caps, this is a quiz. And I'm going to hit attach link, and simply Control V is paste, or you could right click, but Control V is paste. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to hit post. So now when students come into your class, it's test day. Log on to Google Classroom, look at today's announcement. This is a quiz. Please click on the link. So the students would come in, they would log in, they would see the stream, they would click on the link, and it takes them right to the assessment that you just created. And when they're done, they would hit submit. They will get their scores, and it will be available to you as the teacher to be able to put into a spreadsheet. That's it for the creation of a quiz. Easy part. Look for the next video where I show you how to compile the spreadsheet, how to alphabetize it, and then how to transfer that over into Aries easily. All right, thank you for your